Hey, what's up everyone? Regardless of what's taking place in the world around us, which I'll be showing you a little bit of that in this video, I still put out love and positive energy. Fear does no one any good. Although I will continue to keep everyone informed on what's happening in this world. First, right now we see the bird flu spreading quite a bit in a country that wasn't really dealing with this situation too badly. So right now the bird flu has come knocking on India's door right now during a time of lockdown. You also have a 7.5 earthquake that took place around Russia, and the United States Geological Service, for some reason, removed it from their page, and people are asking the question why. Maybe they don't want people to know, I don't know, but that's what they're saying. Now, as of an hour ago, it was reported by Fox News that the tsunami warning has been lifted for both Russia and Hawaii, the Hawaiian Islands. It has been lifted, even though the 7.5 earthquake did take place. Then you've got people in Brazil saying if the government can't stop this crisis, then organized crime will. So, I mean, it's not going to do any good for people to go insane. Look to our Redeemer for help. Beautiful, beautiful picture here. Even though this area is very dangerous, or can be, a new active earthquake faults have been discovered near Mount Hood. They could devastate everything. We're sitting on a ticking time bomb. Everything could have already caused disasters. I mean, we're on plate tectonic plates. We're floating through this, going through this universe. We could be hit by meteors, space rocks at any time. There's storms, floods, hurricanes, fires, disasters. I mean, anything could happen. I mean, anything could. I mean, but look at the beauty of nature. Even though that is a disastrous likelihood spot for disaster, right on a volcano, it's still so beautiful. They said this spot right here could devastate everything all the way to Portland, Oregon. But it's still so beautiful, the tragic beauty. Now, the question is if a locust plague of biblical proportions could wind up happening in the United States. And if it were, that would be devastating. The World Health Organization is trying to get together and say we need to do something about these locust plagues happening worldwide because they're destroying the crops in Africa, the Middle East, and the European Asian areas right now. They're destroying the crops amid this already ongoing crisis that we're seeing. But if they had been holding back some of the food crops, if they'd have been supplying them, not holding back, but conserving, the past 7 years we've had plentiful crops before last year's heavy rains destroyed them in the Midwest of the United States, then we would have had plenty of supply on hand if they had just conserved it and put some of the crops away. But they did not. Sadly, they did not. A little, but not a lot. Now, actually, it's happened before. In late June 1874, actually. The skies, blue skies in the American prairie turned suddenly pitch dark because of the swarming, likened it to a snowstorm because of the swarming locusts. They said it looked like an entire day of darkness in the United States because the bug swarm was so bad. There was an excess of 27 million tons. The weight of all the bugs was 27 million tons. That's 27 million tons. That's 54 billion pounds of locusts that swarmed through the United States back in 1874, darkening everything. So there have been crises before, including the Dust Bowl that people don't even think of. They said it looked like a great white glistening cloud, one of the pioneers wrote, for the wings caught the sunshine on them and made them like a cloud of white vapor. They have stories in Nebraska of the plague of locusts from 1874. And here in 1877, a book about the plague was written. Boiled and afterwards stewed with a few vegetables and a little butter, pepper, salt, and vinegar, they said they made an excellent fricassee. How they actually had to use the locusts as food. So in 1877, Congress established the commission to actually send a $30,000 supply of seed to those devastated areas. So it's not the first time national disasters like this have happened. And thankfully, so far, we have not had to deal with the locusts this time. There have been some deadly chloroquine poisonings in the United States and Nigeria. That's some bad news of overdose. Video from South Africa shows the seas turning blood red in certain areas. They're asking for your blood donations right now because blood banks are running out of stock. And they said that would be devastating for millions of Americans. So if you can, they need your blood for donations right now, according to the Red Cross. One interesting thing is no one alive has ever experienced an economic plunge this sudden in history of the current people living. This was that damaging 5.4 earthquake, the epicenter of it, that hit Zagreb, Croatia, during their lockdown. So dozens of people were injured and buildings collapsed everywhere. People had to run out of the streets even though they were on lockdown. But the situation, from what I hear, has eased off for now. Everywhere from Nashville to New York.